FIFA is caught in the middle of millions of football fans demanding Argentina get thrown out of the World Cup. So right now there's a petition with more than 10 million signatures asking for exactly that. Some reports even say that the updated number is upwards of 14 million. There's also a political banner that's dragged a 40-year-old war back into the headlines. And there's a growing number of fans who think the referees have been rigging matches in Argentina's favor. So FIFA is under pressure from basically every direction. The UK government, Egypt, millions of online fans, and the one thing almost nobody is going to get is what they actually want. Let's start with a number that's hard to ignore: over 10 million signatures. That's the count as of the evening of July 15th, and it's been a couple of days since then at the time of this recording. This petition is obviously not affiliated with FIFA, it's not affiliated with any football federation, it's just a website that went viral, and its core argument is blunt. The petition reads, and I quote, "It is obvious that FIFA and the referees are biased towards Lionel Messi in Argentina. Why should the rest of the world compete when the winner has already been decided? Kick Argentina out of the World Cup and give everyone else a fair chance." Now, to put the growth in perspective, this thing had already passed 6 million signatures by July 14th, and within about a day it had blown past 10 million. That's an insane rate of growth for an online petition. But here's the uncomfortable truth for everyone who signed it. Legally, it means nothing. Only FIFA's own disciplinary committee or FIFA's council can actually remove a team from a tournament, and the reasons that allow for disqualification are things like actual proven match fixing, doping, or fielding an ineligible player. A petition does not fall into that category. And as of right now, FIFA has not announced any suspension or disqualification of Argentina. They remain fully eligible to play. And spoiler alert, no team has ever been pulled from a World Cup mid-tournament over something like this. So why did this petition explode in the first place? Some of it connects to a banner, and some of it connects to something else entirely: allegations of referee favoritism. So let's talk about the banner, because this is the piece that turned a football story into a diplomatic one. So just a few days ago, Argentina beat England 2-1 in the World Cup semifinal in a dramatic comeback with 2 goals in the final minutes. Also, England had a horrible strategy to defend them, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, in the celebrations right after the final whistle, several Argentina players, Lisandro Martinez, Cristian Romero, among others, held up a banner that read, "The Falklands are Argentine," in Spanish, of course. Now, it appears fans in the crowd actually handed the players that banner, but once it was in their hands and being waved to the cameras, it became a very different kind of problem, because FIFA's Stadium Code of Conduct explicitly bans any political message inside the stadium. So what was that flag even doing inside the stadium? Who knows? And look, this isn't some abstract rule being applied for the first time. In 2014, Argentina displayed the exact same banner before a friendly game. And FIFA fined the Argentine Federation something in the region of $37,000 at the time. So there's precedent, and it's not ambiguous, it's the exact same banner. And the reaction from the UK was immediate. Britain's business secretary, Peter Kyle, called it a violation of FIFA rules and said, quote, "Politics need to be separate from football. We expect FIFA to undertake an investigation into this." Downing Street backed that up with a spokesperson saying, "The World Cup might not be ours, but the Falkland Islands definitely are." And on the other side, Argentina's president, Javier Milei, defended the players, calling the banner perfectly valid and saying it reflects a sentiment shared by all Argentinians. Though he did say he expected the team to face a fine over it. FIFA's official line, as of their statement on July 16th, is that their disciplinary committee is, quote, "currently addressing the match reports and considering the relevant circumstances before deciding on potential further steps." Now, here's where the frustration really sets in for a lot of fans. Given the 2014 precedent, the overwhelming expectation is that this ends in a simple fine. Probably a bigger one than last time, but still a simple fine. And what it almost certainly does not end in is any player missing a match. Some people were even calling for a 5-match ban, which I think is insane. And to be candid here, I am not a fan of the Argentine football team. Anyway, FIFA's rule book simply doesn't work that way for political banners. It's a financial penalty tool. It's not a suspension tool. And on top of that, in 2014, FIFA didn't even publish its ruling until after that year's tournament had already finished. So there there's a real chance fans don't get an answer on any of this until after Sunday's final is already over. So you've got a banner controversy where the two most likely outcomes, a simple fine and a delayed decision, are exactly the two things angry fans don't want to hear right now. Sorry. Here's the thing though, if you look at the banner, you're missing where a lot of this anger actually started. Because the FIFA favors Argentina narrative didn't begin with the England game or a banner. It began a week earlier against Egypt, and we've all seen the disallowed Egyptian goal for a foul on Lisandro Martinez and waving away penalty appeals in the closing minutes. We know Egypt filed an actual formal complaint with FIFA over the officiating, and they went as far as requesting that the ref not be assigned to referee any more matches in the tournament. And the moment that really went viral, Egypt's head coach crossed his forearms in an X shape during the heated confrontation with Lionel Messi. And that gesture happens to be FIFA's official sign for reporting racist abuse. So naturally, it set off a wave of speculation. Hassan himself later clarified what it actually meant, saying, "The gesture wasn't about racism. I was telling the referee, you're not being fair." But Hassan didn't stop there. He came right out and accused the tournament of protecting Argentina, saying, "We suffered an unjust defeat. There is support for the world champions from every direction. They want the previous world champions to stay in the tournament." And that's the moment this stopped being a theory and started becoming a mainstream storyline. Now, layer in a second thread, allegations of racism directed at Argentina's fan base specifically. Streamer IShowSpeed has been at the center of this, and this is widely reported, and if you want to hear about that specifically, I have a video on that topic. So we'll just brush over that. By the time you get into the banner controversy against England, you're not looking at an isolated incident. You're looking at the third or fourth flashpoint in a matter of weeks. Referee complaints from Egypt, a coach publicly accusing the tournament of bias, repeated racism allegations, some within the Argentine team, and then a political banner that reopens a war from 1982. Each one on its own might have blown over. Stack them all together and they built a narrative that 10 million petition signatures could rally around. So where does that leave things right now, the day before the final? FIFA still hasn't made a decision on the banner. Argentina is obviously still fully eligible to play Spain on Sunday, and the petition, whatever it says, however many millions of signatures it collects, has no power to change that. And what you're left with is a genuine mismatch between what a lot of angry fans want and what's actually going to happen. People want Argentina out of the tournament. Yeah, that's not happening. And there's no rule that would even allow it. People want players suspended for the final. Again, based on how FIFA has handled every political banner case before this one, that's not happening either. What's actually likely is the least satisfying outcome for the petition supporters. A simple fine, probably announced weeks from now, almost certainly after the tournament has already wrapped up and everyone stopped paying attention. Which is really the truth underneath the story here. It's not just about one banner, or one referee, or one confrontation with a coach. It's about a tournament where every controversy, fair or not, gets funneled into the same argument, that Argentina gets away with things other teams wouldn't. And whether or not that's actually true, FIFA might have to answer for it eventually, just not before Sunday.